I tell you what, the most recent movie I sat through was Ted 2.
Oh
God,
that?
It was so horrible.
Wasn't the first one terrible?
Abysmally bad. And the first one was funny if like you're a stoner.
Yeah.
It's funny. But the second one is, I don't know how MacFarlane...
he's just like, fuck it now.
Yeah, I guess he's just like trying to make money. Like with all of the little side ventures that he does, it's ridiculous. But actually, one thing I found out about MacFarlane is that he was trained by the same voice coach that did Frank Sinatra Jr.
No kidding.
Yeah, so that's why like a lot of the Family Guy episodes, he has like those music scene breaks and like he sings.
Oh, and he actually
yeah, he actually sings those because he's a big fan of show tunes. So like he does the actual singing, which is pretty cool. I mean, you got to give it to him that he has a certain amount of talent. Because not only because of the characterization that he can come up with, but just because like he can actually sing and sing in character, which is
pretty awesome.
Pretty cool. Yeah, pretty solid.
I always thought the name of the dog, Brian, was pretty cool. So I had a dog that I named George, just because I thought like regular people names
were
like
funny.
Straight up people names were hilarious for dogs.
Yeah.
Brian was the best. Shut up, Brian.
That is pretty funny.
I don't know. Maybe it sounds like we got a topic, or we can just shoot the shit here. Yeah. Either way, we can start off with, "Hey, everybody, welcome to Behind the Scenes."
There you go.
I am your host, Ben Gittle, and this week joining me is Nate.
Woo!
It's just me. The two of us.
Yeah, just down to the final two,
awkwardly staring at each other from across the table.
Into each other's eyes. It's actually a magical experience.
We'll see how much we can actually get done on an episode.
Yeah.
When we're only distracted by each other.
Yeah, it's true. That sounded a little dirty, though.
Yeah. Well, it was meant to.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it.
Nate made me a wonderful...
basic white girl drink.
Yeah.
Which just sets it even...
Vanilla latte.
Sets the tone even higher for an erotic experience that I'm making you lattes.
Yeah. I forgot my Ugg boots. So
yes, you
I'm
did.
Only half enjoying it.
Oh... That's hilarious.
Yeah, so we were talking about Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know who that is, you're probably living under a rock because he is the creator and star of the animated series Family Guy, among many others, also American Dad.
The Cleveland Show.
He also he was the writer-director of his first film, Ted, which is with the teddy bear. Then he did... A Million Ways to Die in the West, which was okay. Yeah. After the first one, it was just like,
So, first of all, Liam Neeson, who else was in that? Oh, Charlize Theron. Mm-hmm. Somebody owed somebody something. Somebody knows where the bodies are hidden.
Yeah, they just phoned it in. Ted 2 was his last one. And good Lord, we sat through it. Caitlin and I sat through it, and we looked at each other at least five times, because we were just contemplating stopping the movie, and I like Marky Mark totally phoned it in.
Yeah,
and everybody else around him was terrible. He roped in Morgan Freeman in it, which is like the worst. Then Liam Neeson made another like appearance in the movie, and Liam Neeson's part was the funniest part. It was basically just like a mock on his like characterization from Taken, but it was so bad. But one thing that I did like, I think I mentioned this before to you, is that MacFarlane, he's actually a really good singer, and in a couple of the episodes, or a lot of the episodes on Family Guy, they have a lot of those cut scenes where Brian and Stewie do these big show tunes, and it turns out that MacFarlane actually got. I think I'm pretty sure it was Frank Sinatra Jr. He got voice lessons, singing lessons, and he was coached by the same person that coached Frank Sinatra Jr., among others. There's other big names that I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know for a fact that he did get voice lessons from those musicians, which is pretty crazy. Because you wouldn't necessarily couple, Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy and fart jokes and everything in between, with somebody like Frank Sinatra. So
yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool. And he's posted a lot of, not posted. He's produced a lot of his own albums. He has 3 albums of his own accord.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 albums. The first one, well, I don't know if it's the first one, but Music is Better Than Words is one of them. Holiday for Swing is another, and No One Ever Tells You. They came out in 2011, 13, and 15, respectively. And obviously the Holiday for Swing one is, I'm going to assume, some sort of
a swing album?
Yeah, Christmas album.
Not like people getting together doing some... Never mind.
Gross. Gross. But he had the likes of Norah Jones on the Holiday for Swing album, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he has a ton of talent that he regularly uses for stupid things like Family Guy.
Yeah. Plays the piano.
Yeah. Ted 2, terrible movie. God awful. Just awful. Like, stick to singing or something. It also is kind of interesting that MacFarlane said that in the coming years, which this was some time ago now, but he said that he was going to be reviving the Flintstones, which would be coming on the Fox network.
Interesting. Like animated?
Barney Rubble was his... he was voicing the character of Barney Rubble, but so that was in 2011, and then in 2012 or 2013 Comic-Con, I think it was the 2012, he announced that it was just it was shelved because it wasn't really interesting, which kind of makes sense.
Been done.
Because no one cared. Like, the Flintstones is kind of like the loosest topic ever. Yeah. It's like, how would a makeshift animated family sitcom happen in 2000 BC?
Yeah.
Like,
and how are you going to do Fred Flintstone without smoking Lucky Strikes anymore?
True. Smoking Lucky Strikes. That's the coolest name that you just that you rattled out with little difficulty. Yeah. So, I mean, that was kind of... I was interested to see, and I'm sure it lives somewhere, what came of that project, and if they did any episodes of it, because I'm interested to see how much influence MacFarlane's take had on it.
Yeah.
Or like his Family Guy-esque, Cleveland Show-esque, American Dad-esque comedy was input onto the wholesome nature of the Flintstones. Which is like, the Flintstones, such a lame show.
Did you see the not I don't want to say documentary, but the Space-Time Odyssey thing he did with Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No.
That was pretty awesome.
What did that involve?
Talking about the freaking solar system.
Oh. MacFarlane did that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was like pretty epic. It was in 2014. Well, I guess, it's considered a documentary. So it was like a redo or a follow-up to the 80s television series Cosmos, A Personal Voyage.
Oh, with, what's his face, Sagan?
Yeah, Carl Sagan.
Yep.
But this time with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
He's
like an
very
producer.
Very odd.
Yeah. Seth MacFarlane, actually, so let's see. He got his start after going to Rhode Island School of Design for animation. He worked for Hanna-Barbera, big animated company. Everybody knows.
I don't know who that is.
No?
No.
Oh, man. I'm so old.
What do they do? I'll find out.
Oh, like all the original... Actually, they probably did the original... Flintstones. But anyway, he worked on Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Laboratory.
Fantastic shows. We were just talking about Dexter's Lab last night. Such a good show.
Random.
It was such a good show. Well, I love that one where Dexter learned French and he only learned omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage. So I have my poor nephew. I hope he never listens to this because he's going to be so embarrassed. So when he was like teeny tiny, he's going to turn 21 in let's see. On Saturday, he turns 21. I can't believe he's 21. I'm so fucking old. He loved Dexter's Laboratory when he was like a wee little tot. That's all he did was run around the house in like a diaper. Omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage. Such a good episode. That's pretty funny that he liked it that much at a young age.
Whoops.
Uh-oh. That's the white girl drink.
So yeah, Hanna-Barbera. Let's see. Yup, Flintstones, Yogi Bear, The Jetsons, Scooby-Doo, Ruh-Roh Reggie.
Reggie.
The Smurfs. Do you know what the Smurfs are?
I do know what the Smurfs are.
Thank God.
This is such a terrible occult show.
So Hanna-Barbera, founded in 1957 by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer animation directors William Hanna and Joseph Barber.
Makes sense.
And they were the creators of Tom and Jerry. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, and live-action director George Sidney in partnership with Screen Gems, the television arm of Columbia Pictures.
So when he was apparently his mother is accredited to saying that MacFarlane really liked to draw like as early as age 2, and the characters that he liked to draw were Fred Flintstone, which ties back into nicely why he would want to be all about bringing it to light, as well as Woody Woodpecker. Cartoons back in the day were so weird.
Yeah.
So bizarre. He originally wanted to work for Disney. What a terrible Disney employee he would have been. Oh, MacFarlane.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Disney's pretty twisted.
Yeah, but
without being twisted.
But not like Family Guy twisted.
That's true.
Because Family Guy's not really necessarily twisted. It's just like
Disney took stories that were pretty fucked up. I guess they made them.
They dumbed them down. Up. Yeah, they way dumbed them down.
Typically, the Disney stories, even though they never say it in the Disney stories, but in the original Grimm Brothers stories, like all those girls are like 12.
That makes sense.
And they're like, "Oh, I need to have a man kiss me." Right? To be able to live again.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up.
I mean, that makes sense for the times, though, because weren't the Brothers Grimm, weren't they around in, like, the 1800s?
Yeah, they went around, like, all sorts of different areas of the world. And
collected these stories.
Like, yeah, these old wives.
That would be a good one to do.
The Brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's everything stems from them, like, seemingly. Yeah. I don't even know when the Brothers Grimm, like...
There was that movie, too, The Brothers Grimm. Who was in that? Matt Damon and... Oh, actually, that'd be another good one to do. We should do something on Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, yeah, because there's a lot of stupid conspiracies. There was a dumb kid in high school that was like, did you know that Heath Ledger was looking at pictures of dead babies while he was getting into character for the Joker?
For the Joker?
It's like,
no, the guy was just like hopped up on coke in a dark room all the
douche.
time.
Stop trying to be cool and think you know stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he was like all into the method acting, but he was just a depressed dude. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Who is really into the method acting and is really fucked up is who just played the Joker recently?
Leto.
Yeah, Jared Leto.
Yeah, he's pretty talented, dude.
He's another one we could
he
talk
did
about.
30 Seconds to Mars.
So he and his brother, you ever see? They did a documentary on when like they were going through the whole like lawsuit with their management, or not their management company, but their record label.
Oh.
Like back when, so the music industry has sort of changed now. Like, all these artists have to do these 360 deals where they're kind of like fucked out of everything.
Really?
And so when they created this whole album, and then the company, because they hired on this is what's interesting about everybody thinking our country needs a businessman to run it. Sorry. My fucking soapbox.
Here comes the soapbox.
The music industry thought, we can just have business people run the fucking music industry instead of music people run it.
Right.
And they ran the shit into the ground, and 30 Seconds to Mars was an unfortunate victim to this. So they had to sue the company to even get the rights to their own fucking music. Like, they had a whole album done, couldn't release it, couldn't make any money off of it. He had to put in shit tons of his own money, like millions of dollars, to be able to sue them to get the rights for it. And finally sign a new contract with them.
Do you remember why they didn't have the rights to begin with, or why they lost the rights?
Well, it was just because they signed on with a record company. So all these record companies, take all your rights away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It used to be artists could... Okay, so maybe you don't make money off of your record, but you make money off of your tour.
Mm-hmm.
And now with these 360 deals, they're like, nope.
Yeah.
We're going to make money off of everything, and you don't own shit.
Right. That's kind of the crappy thing about being, somebody that creates anything. Is that, writers... unless, a book writer, you don't make anything off of books. There's no incentive other than the creative aspect of it, which is the reason why we have, writers and stuff. But it's become such a gambit to even try to make a living off of it. It's insane.
You guys bored yet?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Let's see. Seth MacFarlane, a big supporter of gay rights.
Yes. Not surprisingly so. He's from Rhode Island.
I don't know why I thought that was funny.
I'm not sure why either. I mean, it's not really... I guess it's not implied that if you're from Rhode Island...
Let's get one thing straight here. We here at Behind the Scenes Podcast are a big supporter of gay rights. Okay?
Yes, that's true. There's no...
We did not mean to offend anybody.
No, I'm just saying that Rhode Island is fairly solidly blue.
Right.
I would imagine so. And usually blue or Democratic, liberal-leaning states are often more okay with LGBTQ, which, by the way, what does the Q stand for?
Questioning, I think.
Really?
Yeah. We should...
now there's a LGBTQ+. What is the plus?
I haven't got a clue. We should. I will have to. You know who I'll have to ask is our good buddy Adam Graham from the Your Life Useful podcast. He was here, episode 1,
and 2,
I think. Yeah, hangs out with us every now and then. He is a big supporter of LGBTQ rights and everything, and he knows a lot of shit. I bet he would know. I should ask him.
All right, so the acronym stands...
You're gonna look it up.
A simple Google search.
Yeah, fuck it.
We'll identify that LGBTQ+ means lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer / questioning. I feel like queer is a little bit offensive, but who am I to say?
Right.
No definition on the plus. Maybe it just means and more.
Maybe that's the question. I don't know.
Good Lord, there's an even longer one. LGBTQ IPA+.
Whoa.
Is that like a beer? Is that like an LGBTQ beer?
Oh.
I don't know. I think the plus just means that anything, you know how you say 55+?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Was MacFarlane part of King of the Hill?
I don't know. He probably was. He had a hand in a lot of stuff. He was a part of The Simpsons.
Right.
Because that's why there's a Simpsons episode. I don't remember which one it was, but Peter Griffin appears in it, the character from Family Guy.
Right.
He had there's it might have been a Treehouse of Horrors episode because there was there was Homer standing in the backyard, and then there was a Peter Griffin just standing there. It was right when Family Guy was starting, and they were just towing the line of how far they could push it.
Yeah, I think there's nothing specific written here. It just says after the success of King of the Hill in 97. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a hand because he worked on
everything.
Yeah, every a lot of different stuff. Like you mentioned, like Johnny Bravo and Cow and Chicken and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he, specifically with Fox, I'm sure he had a lot to do with
right
those shows that were on there.
Film career. Ted. A Million Ways to Die. They don't even list Ted 2 on its own.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And I remember I watched this thing on him where he regrets doing the voice for the main character in American Dad in the pilot.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's so guttural, or it's so in his chest, it hurts him to do it. Because it's so commanding, so he hates doing.
Yeah,
he hates recording it.
So yeah, you ever see the show Reno 911?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great show.
What's his name with the tight shorts?
Yeah,
that was
Dangle,
like a joke.
Dangle. Yeah.
It was supposed to be a joke on the pilot. Like he was like, "Oh, they'll never go for it" or whatever. And then they did, and he was like, "Fuck! Now I got to wear these every episode."
Yeah, that's awesome. That was such a good show.
Yeah. Yeah,
because there was so many good guest spots.
Yeah, Nick Swartzen as
the guy on the roller skates.
Yeah, you can. Nobody's saying you can't eat the hot dog. You just can't lick it while standing on the corner for an hour.
That's so funny. And then I know that when he was starting American Dad, he did it because of George W. Bush. He was exacerbated with the policies that came out of George W. Bush White House.
Uh-huh.
And so he did it as a satire to that sort of era of public policy. So that was kind of one of his first open stances against or political stances, like political satire stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is, I mean, if you're pissed off about something, then you make a show and make millions of dollars off of it.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if you've ever seen American Dad, but it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite show. Even Family Guy's lost its luster. It's okay, but it's not, now he's just trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in Ted 2. Trying way too hard.
Ugh. I don't know how anybody thought you could make a second.
It was so bad. I can't describe to you how terrible it was. It's just dragged on, no end in sight. Just so boring.
Like this episode.
Right. Just like this episode. I think we've squeezed the juice of the MacFarlane plant.
Yeah, I guess so.
Pretty much to the exhausted point.
We'll call this a mini-sode.
We'll call this one a mini-sode.
We're still trying to recover our hours of audio on 2 decent movies.
Yep.
One really good movie.
Yep.
That was originally going to come out around Thanksgiving because it's a Thanksgiving movie.
But here we are, mid-December. Still
don't have that audio, so we're frantically trying to get these out, trying to stick to our every other Monday schedule.
Yeah.
I think we're figuring this thing out. We're getting the audio issues figured out. I think we're.
And it's kind of a pain in the ass to coordinate during the holidays.
Yeah.
Because we only have the weekend to do it. Because Nikki's across the country.
Yeah, there's fucking 5 of us.
Yeah, there's 5 of us that we have to figure out, and not everyone is the best at communication. Not saying anybody specifically, but there's 5 guys.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying anybody is. I'm saying that between 5 people, it's a pain in the ass to get us in the same room for 2 hours.
Yeah, this is true. We got 3 of us in a car last week.
Yeah, that was
last
good.
Episode. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
I hope you like that
good.
one. Andre the Giant, he's pretty cool.
Yep.
Was pretty cool. So Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, there you go. There's a wrap on Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, so, all right, so that's it for this week. As always, please check out the website, btspod.com. Like and subscribe and always share, please. Give us a rating on iTunes. That's the way we can get this podcast popular. Even if you hate this thing, give us a Give us a crappy rating. Tell us why. Tell us why you don't like it. We'll try and.
It's probably stuff that we already know. We'll probably say, yeah, we agree with you.
All right. Well, Nikki's not here again. We'll see you backstage next time
that's
on Behind the Scenes.